Welcome to Captain of Industry. My name is Nilaus and I'll be your guide on this Let's Play series. Captain of Industry is a game that I've had my eye on for a very long time, and it is finally here on early access on Steam, so you can grab it yourself. I played it in a beta version about half a year ago and it was super amazing fun, and now it's here. So I will be doing a lot of coverage on this, guides, tutorials, let's plays, streams, all that good stuff. So let's talk a bit about the game. So what is Captain of Industry? Well, at the core, this is a factory game, so it fits right in on this channel, but there are also some colony sim aspects to it. So you can say there are very much Factorio and Satisfactory and License Your Program vibes in the sense that you build production chains, but there are also the colony sims aspects, such as from Oxygen Not Included. One thing that comes to mind with Captain of Industry that I think is very important to mention is that it is, in a sense, more difficult than Factorio and Satisfactory and the other games, because there are a lot of traps, pitfalls, death spirals, and you can expand too quickly and then choke, and then you'll have to start over. So in that respect, much more like Oxygen Not Included than Factorio and Satisfactory, where you can just menu. But do not fear, because I will be here and I'll be guiding you through it on this Let's Play. This series will be exploring all the mechanics, I'll explaining it as we go along, and I hope you want to join me on this journey. If this sounds like something you'd want to follow, then be sure to hit a like button and consider subscribing. This is, of course, particularly important since it's the first of a series and we want to get this one out to as many people as possible. And I would like to really establish my channel as the premier location for Captain of Industry content on YouTube. So if you want to help me do that, that's a good way to do it. Let's dive into the game. We are, of course, going to start a new game, and this is the default game that I would say they'd recommend. But I've been playing that, and I'd rather like to play on the beach. It has more space, and all these things, we just leave it as they are. We're not in a position to start messing around with stuff like this. What is very important to note is that what it says here is that there is a beach where we can build, but we can't make farms on the beach. So there's a lot of space for us to build, which I like, and well, let's dive in. All of this, again, we're not going to mess with it, not on our first game. This is the game sheet. If you want to play it for yourself, you can copy that one. And welcome to the game. So here we are. Let's go through what we are seeing on the screen and just get our sense of it. I've also released a video not too long ago, a couple of days ago, with some explanation of the different mechanics of the game, just to get us all settled. So you can also check that up. It's there's a link in the top right hand corner right now. So what we're seeing here, this is the core premise of this game, is that we actually are the captain of a ship, and the ship is sort of damaged, and we just came in here to this little island. This is our island, and we have a few people living in containers, and there's an abandoned communication station, and we have a few vehicles as well as sort of the shipyard with some items here. And from here we have to build basically everything. So what we are going to do, I don't need that tutorial because you all know I am the tutorial, right? What we have here is, this is where our population lives. All these bars, they are very engineering friendly, gray square boxes, that is good. We have a population, we have a food for our population, we have a number of workers available. You're going to need workers for pretty much all buildings. You have some unity, which we'll come back to. We have sort of the health, we'll come back to that later, much later, and we have the vehicles. So as you can see, we don't have a character in this game. We do have some vehicles. We can't control the vehicles, but we can issue commands for them, and then they'll start working. What do we have? We have 8 vehicles, and we have 1 special vehicle, a tree harvester. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set up our tree harvester, pressing H for harvest, and I want to build it over here. So I'll start by taking those out, and then I'll take these out later because I'm going to need this space for a farm in the not too distant future. So here we have down at the bottom, we have the different options for building, and that will be expanded rapidly. The first thing we want to do is over here by the researching, we will get a coal maker, so we can get burned wood to make coal. That is here. Then you will see one of the very characteristic things is that you'll see there's an input. There are no inserters. It's much more like Satisfactory, where you put a belt in and you get a belt out. What is really cool is that you do splitting and merging pretty much automatically on belts, which is absolutely amazing. So we need a waste management stack. You can see there's a puff of smoke, and there are 4 different types of belts, you could say. Well, there's a pipe, which is how you connect liquids, fluids. There is a U-shaped conveyor for sort of gravel and coal, and there's a flat conveyor for finished products, and there is a molten channel for liquid products. So what happens now immediately is that it will require 20 construction parts. We have those construction parts at our facility. We do start the game with a lot of resources. So what happens is that the trucks, they can transport 20 materials each. They will be bringing stuff over, and then it'll get started. This one, the tree harvester is assigned, and you can see it's chopped down a tree, but no one is coming to pick it up. So I will assign a truck to this harvester. This will then go, one of them will now be assigned to only service this one, which means take from here and take it wherever the wood is being requested. So you can see it goes in here, little box, and we now have 20 wood. So one tree becomes 20 wood, and this one just grabs it. I like this one. This is a new animation, so I like it. I like these ones. They're small, nice animations, and it goes like that. Takes the trees off, and then it's idling until the train comes back. Train, truck. All right, so that was the very first thing. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we get some research up and running. And that's a research lab. I will put the research lab here. Seems like a good place to build it. That will also be built. So we'll now see that we have a couple of the trucks going in here to our shipyard, picking up some materials, and heading over to build our research facility. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So that is the first things we are going to get to here. So as soon as this one gets made, we can start working on the next part. We will also be starting the recycling of this. This means that there are a lot of resources such as resource scraps, collect concrete slabs, and electronics in this communication outpost that we can get. And our research lab is ready. We can now go into this tech tree, which is pretty damn big. This is overwhelmingly big. Let's see, what are the last things we have here? Ship weapons, solar panels. Solar panels is the last tech. No, I want solar panels. And I'm sure there'll be more added later even. So I don't think I've been further down than this here. Here, I think. Yeah, about that area in my early tests. So there's a lot of things to do. So here we have 3 things available in the beginning. I would recommend starting with the construction. This gives us the opportunity to make construction parts. Construction parts is pretty much the most important thing because the construction parts is how you make more buildings generally. And you can see it requires iron, wood, and concrete slabs. Let's get that research going. What I'd also like to do is get farming so that our people don't starve. And I'd like to get the mining because then we can start getting some vehicles and going that way. Then we'd like to get a trading dock so we can trade with nearby locations, and it also gives us a storage, which is super amazing and just very convenient. And also what the last one we want to just queue up is the power and maintenance. We can also queue up the beacon. The beacon will allow us to attract more population to our facility, but that requires power. I don't know, and I don't think we'll get to power in this episode because I just want to make sure that we don't rush it too much. So we have our research. This one is not requiring anything, any resources. It just continues to research. It is using the resource called Unity. Unity is a resource basically if people are happy, they are being fed, the population is being fed and they're happy, and other sort of conditions, they are not sick and they get all the amenities they will need. They will need more amenities as we progress. Then we'll get more Unity, and Unity is a magical resource that both we must have just to be happy, but it's also a resource that we can use to build things quickly. Now let's get into the next part, and that is let's build some iron smelting. So here we have a blast furnace, and we also have a metal caster. So I'm going to build a blast furnace. This is our iron deposit. It's orange, and there is a copper which is bluish. It's actually correct colors, unlike Factorio. So here I will build this. The grid, yeah, it's just helping us. This is a new thing, and it wasn't in the early access version. I'm going to build it close to this so we don't have a lot of travel distance. I'm going to build it here, and I'm going to build 2 of these. I don't know if I can build them this close. I don't think it's a good idea. I'll give it a shot, and then I'll regret it later. So each of these casters, what you can do is you can flip it between one production cycle, 20 seconds, 8 in, 3 in. Then we get 8 molten iron out, and we get some exhaust that we have to deal with. Or you can flip it over to how much it is per 60 seconds. So it generates 24 per 60 seconds. You can see the trucks are already coming in. So the metal caster, I'm going to do it here, and then I hold shift. Then we can place multiple at once. And I'm checking out the closer one. This one has 12 per 60 seconds. So I'm going to need 2. Then I am going to do the C for copy. And we just instantly copy this. This is very nice feature. Do we think that's even possible? I don't think this is... No, this is not going to work. Not going to work. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. That was a bit overly ambitious on my part with getting this close. All right. We're going to get them a bit further apart. That is going to be better. So we just deconstruct this one. So you see here, now I can use the purple one, which is quick remove, which will use some of our Unity to get things done instantly instead of waiting for trucks to come in and go out again. That is a really nice thing. So we go over here by our transports. As I mentioned, we have 4 different types of transports. We are only having accessible the molten channels and the pipes yet. We don't have the ability to do other things, but don't worry. This is to get you used to working with trucks, and then by the time you get tired of trucks, that's also the time when you have the next available, which will be more transports, like more belts, and that'll be super convenient. This one is, yeah, okay, it's blocked because blast furnace needs a transport to output exhaust. All right, I'll get it, don't worry. And you can see I connected here. Then we can press E to go up, and E1 more to go even more up, and E1 more to go one up. You can go 3 levels up, but I don't want to do that. I want to go just 1 level up, and then bring it to this side. Here, and then I want to get the same thing here. There. So they are now connected. They will merge by themselves. And at this location, I'll just bring it down. One thing that is super important to note is that vehicles, trucks cannot pass below when there's only 1 tile. They will need to have it 2 tiles up. Then they will drive underneath it. The big machines, such as the tree harvesters, need 3 tiles up in order for them to go under. So if you drag a pipe across, then vehicles can't drive there. That sucks. We have now built this one. What happens is, you can see, they start building. We'll get some iron. It'll just be stuck in this machine, similar to Factorio and Satisfactory. It'll be stuck in the machine. It does have an output here, but we don't have those flat belts. Oh, go away, tutorial. I'll take care of that. Don't you worry. The construction here is in progress, so we don't even have that yet. But we are getting all of this. We can just happily see how this one is working. We can even speed up just to make things go a bit quicker. And while we wait for this is a good opportunity to say, if you are worried that there's only going to be 1 episode today of this wonderful game, but you want to watch more, then how about coming over to Twitch? I'm live streaming this tonight on Twitch TV/Nilaus. It's at 8 p.m. Central European Time, and moving forward, I'll be streaming this Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. So do come on over and check it out. We'll be experimenting, building, designing, and moving much faster than this Let's Play, so that I can use the experience I get there to bring it back into this Let's Play series. And while I've been rambling around, then we have finished the construction, and we now have the first opportunity to build the first big setup here. The construction is that one. So what is it we want to make for this construction build? Well, what we can do is we can get... let me think, because it's going to be really difficult to design this properly at this moment. Yeah, I'll get one of these buildings. Where is it? It is here. 1 manual assembler coming right up. So what I want to have is, I want to have this lane here, no, actually this lane, being dedicated for transport. Basically, just a path for driving trucks. And that means I need to make sure that I bring things sort of a bit more in here. Tree harvester has no trees to harvest. Oh, that is quite important. Let's get you over to get those trees. There. There. I need to free up this space for the first farm that we need to get. Okay, back to our assemblers. Assemblers are basically like assemblers in any other game that has assemblers. I am going to build this. All right, so that did not look very deliberate that I just placed these randomly. But what I'm doing is I am aligning it to this particular location and preparing for some of the later things that we want to do, so I don't have to shift these around. I'm going to build 3 of these, and we can also just see how quickly they're building now that we don't have a lot of activity. I'm running this at double speed. I'll go in here and I'll set these to be exclusively making that. That is what we want. We want to have 3 places make this. That means we're going to be straining a lot for the wood over here. We'll get the concrete slabs. Concrete slabs we'll get from here. And the iron will be produced over here. So the 3 items we have is we have concrete slabs that we are going to run out of. We have a finite amount, which means that's a failure condition. Pretty much we have iron that's working, but it's also using scrap from here. So also again, finite. And then we have trees, which is for all intents and purposes infinite. Assembler's ready. There. So these ones are now working. They will gradually start making more construction parts. Over here on the right hand side, we can sort of see the items we have and how they are adding up. We have currently 87 construction parts. So it is in last second we're starting producing more, because now we have basic farming done. With basic farming we can make a farm so that we can get food for our people. Awesome. There. This is where a bit of also a random element comes in, because at this point, I think I'll build it here. Yeah. We are going to need here. This farm is quite complicated. Oh, I'm actually going to do this. Boop. So I used 1.2 of our Unity just to get it instantly delivered. That's pretty convenient because it's pretty far away. So instead of bringing it all the way over here, we just instantly deliver it. If it's something close by, I don't really feel it's worth it generally. Oh, these trucks, they had resources and now they're just heading back. So here, if you played the beta version, you could see that you could actually add crop rotation, but that's not something we can do now. This gets a bit interesting because we can change the product we are harvesting. At this point, we only have potatoes. They need water, so we hope it rains. And they have fertility. And they will sort of consume the fertility of the location here. And natural replenishment is 4.7 fertility per 60 seconds. And we are the potatoes are consuming 10.5. So at some point, we're going to have to do something about the fertility here. Good thing that we just got a dash of rain. And you can see the rain, the water that's stored in the field is just gradually being consumed. I'm just going to turn down the speed of the game at this point, down to normal speed. And they will just progress and build more. So we have farming done. When it's done, when it's being harvested, I'll get 47 units in 2.1 months. Oh, rain, more rain. Perfect. And then it'll be brought over here to the food market, which will then bring it into this location. At this point, I really don't want this one to be here. I want it to be on that side, but that's one of those really, it's just how it's set up in the beginning. I'm going to set a waste material process thingy here so that we can process the waste material that is accumulating inside the location here. We can see that there is some waste materials here, and we want to make sure that we can handle it. That's just getting sorted to the waste collection location, and then we'll be taking it from there. Right, so we have farms going, we have a bit of iron going, we have our first construction here. You can see that we are not getting enough wood for this. This is something we might want to sort out a bit later, making sure that we get the wood, because right now we could actually just send out 2 trucks, because 1 truck is not going to be enough. You can see this one here is pretty much idle. It's also feeding into here to get coal. That's the only place we can get coal. So we need to both take the wood into the coal to feed the smelters, but we also need to take some of it into our construction part location. And if we want to make sure that that works, we also want to make sure that our tree harvester is not spending too much time idle. So whenever it's ready to drop down a tree, there should be a truck available for that. Now they will be primarily servicing the closed one here, and we can just see, I think it's a good idea to have 2 trucks, because once in a while one of them will be going back, or it needs refueling as well. Trucks do need diesel and they do need maintenance. Those are things that we will get into a bit. Now this one has run out of, no, it's actually just going over to the next location. Do we have enough? Yes, we do have enough to harvest. Actually, I want to take this as well so we can get that. Good. And want to make sure that there's always a truck nearby ready to go. This one, as long as it can stock up to 80 in this location, so until it gets to 80, and then it probably will only set stuff in here. Yeah. What you can do is you can change priorities if you want to focus on something else. At this point, I do want to focus on the coal, because the coal will then be used for the iron, and the iron will continue working. And if we get to a point where the iron is fully stacked up and then it backlogs, then that's going to be fine as well. Right, at this point, we can't really do much more until the vehicle research is done. So I will just zoom forward until that's done. Finished vehicle and mining. Perfect. We can then proceed from here, and that will get into the next part. I have, just while waiting for that, I built an extra research lab so it goes quicker. That will burn through more of our monthly consumption, and we can then also just pause it if we feel that things are going too quickly, but we'll just get a few more researches. I also built another food market here, which I want to decommission this one. If we, as long as we now have a harvest, so that when something came in here, and if I want to take this out, then if I destroy that, then it says low food supply, and then you go like, where the hell did that go? It luckily only went back here. So what happens is that they will drive from this location. So if you delete things, it just goes back. I can also set here, usually truck imports and exports are set to auto. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to make sure that it does not keep filling this one, then you can set it off. And I will be decommissioning this one and then recovering the materials. And they will be brought back here. So we are going to talk a bit about mining, because that is a really interesting and rather complex way of doing things. But it's also super unique and cool. First thing we're going to do is we're going to build a vehicle depot so that we can build more vehicles. Let's build that over here. That seems like a good place to build it. Let's build it there. Good. That is a vehicle depot. This will allow us to build more of the vehicles we have available. I'm not going to rush it. Let's have the trucks actually doing stuff. We also finished the trading dock. Now we can see science is coming in a bit quickly. So the first thing we need for mining is a mine control tower. Not a mind control tower, but I'll build that here. It'll sort of point in a direction and saying, is this the area that you want me to mine? Yes. And you can edit the area if you feel that it needs to be a bit bigger and different shape. There we go. Then I will tell you what you should be looking for here, what can be dumped here at that location. And notify if you cannot dispose of, if we are having something here. So what we absolutely need is, we need to, we'll just turn down the speed. We need to get an excavator. See, this one is a really good place to build, to use the Unity to speed it up. That's really efficient here, because it takes forever to get those. And we're going to also get one for coal, and actually coal is more important. So this one, but what happens now is that we will need to assign trucks to this, because they will be the ones servicing the mining vehicle, the digger. So the digger has to be assigned when it gets there, and then some trucks. 2 trucks is probably a good idea to assign here at this point. They can't really do anything yet because the truck has no compatible excavator. That's true. And that's what we get from this location. So right now, that's a bit of a waste. I will also do the same thing. Over here, we have coal. So I'll do the same thing for the coal setup. That one. And this one again will be set up to mine coal. I can speed deliver it. But, you know, there's no right. We'll speed deliver it. Boop. There we go. So we get things moving. The location here seems good. Yeah, we'll edit the area just a bit, just because we can. There we go. And you can also see that we are now starting to not have a lot of vehicles available, since there are 2 assigned to the wood part, 2 assigned to that one, and 2 will be assigned to this. Then we only have suddenly 2 left. That's not going to be good. And there we go. That is now done. Right now, a lot of things are being transported around because we don't have a lot of trucks transporting them. But if we just also make a few of these additional here, then we can get that up and running. We could also get another tree harvester, but honestly, I don't think that's necessary right now. We are going to use like a burst of wood, but as we transition into the iron, then it gets much better. Here again, I'm going to speed deliver. You can see these vehicle parts. That's something we already have. We have 40 vehicle parts remaining. And each of these are taking, I don't know. We'll see. We can probably only do 2 of those. And did we get this? Yes. I'm going to assign a truck. But we don't know where to mine. I mean, I think I know that I mine this, but I have to tell the game to what to mine. So I switch over to the mining overlay. Then things get really interesting. This is the flat level, so you can sort of see this level is +3. If I look up here, this is level is +10. And then you can sort of go here. And then I'm just going to drag a big pile here and just say, just take the stuff at the ground level. But what we can also do is we can dig into the ground like this. So make ramps down, because this deposit is going to be not only what is visible, but also below ground and above ground as well. So that's going to be here. I will do the same thing over for that part here. I will also set up the mining in this location there, and just basically will be my surface mining to start with. That's the easiest. And then once we've taken the surface mining out, then we're going to do it. Truck has no compatible excavator. Yes, we know that. That's why the excavator here is coming. Now it gets more than that, because what we can see here is it's not all iron here. There's also going to be other stuff. Let's see. Yeah, right now we're lucky with the iron. So we're going to enable the iron recipe as well, so that now there's actually a place to bring them in. They will now bring it in here, so we can use both the scrap recipe and the iron ore recipe once we are done with this part. There's still 528, so that's it's still good. But it's not only going to pick up iron, it's also going to pick up stone and gravel and dirt and all that stuff. And when that happens, then we need some way to dump it. Now, as you can see here, the shoreline here where we can build stuff to interact with the ocean is not very big. So what I really want to do is I want to go over here, the dumping destination there, and I want to make that out there. We're going to start working on a pier outside here, so that we can get some more ground. If we can make it out here, so you can see there's a bit of terraforming as well. It's not going to be fast, this terraforming, but over time it's going to work. We just got the power. That is definitely not something we want to do in this episode. What we do want though is to get just a bit of unit storage, and this is where all of this would be super handy, and where I'm going to build this. Let's see. First I'm going to pause, because then it doesn't build anything. 1, 2, 3. Those will be the 3 things that need to go into this location, and then I will get, let me see if I build it correctly. Rotate. No. I did not build it correctly, I think. No. Good thing we can just do cut. There's a special way I want this to be done. There. And then I take that out. So here we can unpause it. This one will be bringing in concrete slabs. This one will be bringing in, each of these locations can only have one thing each. And that's the iron part. Yes. This one will then be the construction parts. So eventually when we have belts, we'll be dragging belts into these locations, from here into there and from there. But right now it'll just serve as a storage location for whatever we need in have here. It also means that we can put our wood that we are farming, put it into a storage if we suddenly have too much, instead of just having it stuck on a train. You can see up here now there's a warning that we are not having enough trucks to go back and forth, and it might be worthwhile to deallocate one of these for now. What we can also see is that with coal coming in, there is nothing working here. Oh, there we go. We need to assign the other excavator in here. Then we can go back to this location. I will do quick delivery. And you can probably see that if we look at it, we are running out of ship parts, or these parts, what I call vehicle parts. So beyond this one, we can't build anymore until we have a vehicle part production, which is definitely something we absolutely want to get. Just not right now. This part is something that I'm going to expand out here, because I have an intention about how we want to build this. But you can see we're building construction parts. We could also start making some of the other ones, but I don't really think that's what we want to do at this point. Now, I think this is a great place where we can say, okay, we've done something in this first episode. I will be doing many more episodes, but it's a great sort of getting started. We have the construction parts, we have the vehicles, we get that up and running. The next thing we want to take a look at in the next episode will be looking at getting maintenance up and running, getting vehicle parts produced, and also getting the first bit of power up and running, maybe even the oil. Then, but not promising too much. So, hope you're enjoying this so far. It's a very small. It doesn't seem like much, but this is the start of the game. It'll be bigger and bigger, and as you can kind of already see, that these processes get pretty complicated now that we, for example, have this. Now it also has a slag outbound, which I need to deal with. And that's why I have a dumping ground over here, so I can also dump out. You can see there's already been a tiny bit, so dump the slag as well. So we are getting started. It's a good little start for our fine little factory colony here. I hope you are enjoying it. If you are, you know the drill. I hope you want to hit the like button and leave a comment below if there's something some advice, something you'd like to see, something you'd like to have explained in a bit more detail. Of course, as I mentioned, over on Twitch, I'm also streaming this tonight and many nights to come. So come on over and hang out, and we can make some cool designs and figure out how things work together. Also, if you want to do something more, then I would say if you want to support the channel and if you're enjoying it, then I do have a Patreon account, and that is how I basically run this channel. So really appreciate all the people who are supporting on Patreon. It also means that you will be able to get access to my save games as a patron supporter. So if you want to steal some designs or you want to play along, then you can always grab the save games. With that, thank you very much for watching. I will be seeing you guys in the next episode. I hope so, at least. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.